Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to already episode number 2 of my Everton save in FM21. We are here for, as promised, the games against Palace and Tottenham Hotspur. So we've had a lot of games in between, more than I expected there to be. So here we go, last time we met was the 3-0 win against Barnsley. We then drew against Brighton away from home, goal from Bolasie. We then won 2-0 against Norwich. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and again Bolasie. We then beat Burnley in the league, a hat-trick by Calvert-Lewin inside the first 20 minutes, and then we got knocked out by Leicester in the Carabao Cup on penalties. Both teams took 6 penalties, and at the end it ended in 3-2 in favor of Leicester, so a lot of penalties were missed or saved by the goalkeeper, which was interesting. After that, we faced them in the league away from home, and then we lost 3-2. A very, very tight match. I think we played pretty well, but we just didn't have it in us to get the win in the end. So another 0 points there, and then we beat Leeds. Goals from Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin. You might look at this match and say, well, you only beat Leeds 2-0, and both goals fell in the final 10 minutes. Then I will say to you, Leeds are in first place. At least they were when we played them. Right now they are in second, we are in 9th. Before that match against Leeds, we were actually in 13th. So we're not doing too well, but we're not doing too badly either. As you can see, we're only 3 points off number 2. So anything can change in only one match. So it doesn't really say a lot quite yet. Also, Pickford had 10 saves in that cup game against Leicester. 10 saves, that's absolutely mental. So he has been doing very well. Other players that have been really performing well are, of course, Calvert-Lewin. Bolasie has been performing well, and both of our fullbacks, interestingly enough, because fullbacks seem to not work at all in FM21. Well, Coleman and Digne seem to be the cure to that. The only problem is that Digne is indeed injured, as you can see right here. He is going to be injured for still 2 weeks. He was injured for, I believe, 6 to 8 weeks, so he's back a little bit earlier than expected. But we won't have him yet for these 2 matches here today. Let's just get straight into the game against Crystal Palace. Hopefully we'll pick up the win and move up another couple of spots in the league. The Gegenpress has been working very well, except for the games against Leicester. They were just a little bit too good for us. So I am going to stick with this tactic right now against Crystal Palace and probably also against Spurs. But first, Crystal Palace, of course. This is going to be the lineup. Pickford in goal, Coleman, Keane, Holgate and Delph as replacement for Digne. Allen at defensive mid, Doucouré, Sigurdsson, James, Bolasie and Calvert-Lewin. So Chalobah has been playing. He has been playing okay. Nothing too insane. But he has been playing okay, and he has been improving too. And if we look at the transfers, we have sold another player. Well, we have sold him, but he's gonna leave at the 1st of January. And it is Cenk Tosun, the Turkish 29-year-old striker. We weren't gonna use him ever probably this season. So we sold him for we can't see it yet. For 8.75 million euros. So a little bit more money in the bank. As you can see right there, we have 12 money. We have 12 million euros transfer budget and 50k a week left. So we can still do a little something with that in January. Maybe look at some end of contract players who, as most of you probably will know, there are a lot of in the first season, and a lot of big ones too. Players like Milik or Donnarumma, Depay, all kind of players that we might be interested in. But let's get into the match. Of course, it's not time for transfers yet. I say that it's not time for transfers. If you do have any suggestions when it comes to transfers, please do let me know in the comments down below. Let me know some players I could take a look at. Let me know a position you think we need to strengthen or you think we need more backup in. Do let me know everything that coming to transfers, and I will definitely take a look at that. So I'm gonna put that down just a little bit to key highlights instead of extended. So what else happened in between? The player that we had bought, Darami, the Danish player, he actually got Player of the Month. He had 2 goals, 1 assist in 5 games. So he has been playing a lot and he has been playing very well. So I am happy with how they are using him and with how he has been performing. I mean, 2 goals and an assist in 5 games in your first season in England at 19 years old. That is pretty good, if I do say so myself. So hopefully he'll prove to be important for us too next season. But that's a long time away. Let's focus on Crystal Palace. They are in 20th in the league, as you can see right there, and we just beat the league leaders in Leeds United. So if you look at it like that, now we should be able to beat them. But you never know how Football Manager is gonna work. They only need one chance to go in, and they could hold us off for the entire match. So not a lot is happening yet. Pretty boring match, to be fair. So, as I said, the players that have been performing really well are Bolasie and Digne and Coleman. I had noticed right off the bat that Coleman and Digne were both putting in a lot of crosses, and they were landing at a teammate too. So that is pretty much until now the only thing I've changed about this tactic, is told the players to hit early crosses, and I've put in as Dominic Calvert-Lewin makes it 1-0, 28 minutes played, and we score from a corner kick, which is actually pretty rare when you look at my saves at least. But as I was saying, I have turned on the hit early crosses, and I've also turned on some player instructions for the fullbacks to cross from deep. So not get to the byline, but cross a little bit earlier, so we get as many crosses in as possible. We are actually being dominated by Crystal Palace, but we are leading. That's the most important thing. But yeah, that's the only thing I've changed about this tactic. What I also noticed is in the first match we played against Man City, I looked at the analysis, and we used the direct counter-attacking tactic in that match. And the weirdest thing was that Dominic Calvert-Lewin was actually, when you look at the average positions, he was less forward than James Rodriguez was. So I don't know how that works, that our striker is deeper than our winger. But that's something I definitely did notice looking at the analysis of that tactic. Looking at the analysis of the gegenpress tactic, it's nothing too crazy. I mean, as Ayew equalizes here, but it could be disallowed. Is it? No, it's not going to be disallowed. Yes, it is going to be disallowed. As you can see, we are performing pretty well with the gegenpress. I mean, we're not dominating against Palace, but the tactic still definitely does need some tweaking, of course, but that is to be expected. I mean, you can't expect a tactic to instantly work right off the bat, especially not when you use a box standard gegenpress that the game has already implemented. I mean, every team has its own way of playing, every team has its own players, and that is definitely something that I need to analyze more in the rest of this save, of the entire series. So definitely not on the final version of the tactic yet, and I've completely forgotten to make any saves. That get Coleman off for John Joe Kenny, Yeremina on for Michael Keane, and Chaloba for Allen at defensive mid. I mean, there are only 10 minutes left, might be a little bit late, having made the subs only now, but better late than never. And with only 5 minutes left, we are still in the lead against Palace, but it's a dangerous lead. It's only 1 goal, and they only need 1 ball to fall in the right way, and there it is. Wilfried Zaha equalizes for Palace 4 minutes before the 90th. Pickford with a little bit of a mistake there. I think he could have done better. I think he should have done better. He has been really, really good for us too. I mean, as I mentioned, he made 10 saves in that one game against Leicester, and other than that, he has had so many times where he has saved us completely, but this game is not his, and Michy Batshuayi makes it 2-1 for Crystal Palace, and that is probably gonna be the end of the game, and it's gonna be a really hurtful one. We're gonna go all out attacking because we need to try something, but it's not gonna work. We give Crystal Palace their first win of the season. When you look at the match stats, it's totally deserved. and we did not play well at all. So having said that the gegenpress tactic is working pretty okay for us, this match proves the exact opposite, and it says that we need to take another look at it. I mean, only one match doesn't say everything about a certain tactic, but it definitely creates an image that it's definitely not perfect, as I had mentioned before. But we lose against Palace, but I will see you guys in just a second for the game against Spurs. And now it's time for the second game of the episode, the home game against Spurs. We are using the gegenpress. Made a little change. I noticed against Crystal Palace that we had a lot of attacks by them going through our middle. So I have turned on forced opposition outside. So hopefully that will make sure that we don't let the opposition just easily walk through our entire defense and make them try some crosses out, which we should be able to defend. Anyway, this is going to be the team for today. It is going to be Pickford in goal again, Coleman, Godfrey, Keane and Delph, Allen, Doucouré and Sigurdsson, James and Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. So we've made a couple of changes compared to Crystal Palace. Compared to the game against Crystal Palace, Godfrey is in instead of Holgate. And Bolasie played horrible in that game, so Richarlison is in for him. So hoping that we can get at least 1 point, but Spurs do have a very, very good squad, so it is going to be tough. It is definitely going to be tough, but we're going to try our best to get at least a draw from this game. It is the last match from this game week. Every other team already has played. So when the game finishes, we know exactly where in the league table we are. It's probably not going to be too high because I don't see us winning this game just yet. I think it's a little bit too early in the save for us to beat one of the big boys. But we're going to give it our all. As you can see, we are in 11th if we get the draw. If we do lose, then we are in 13th again, as we were before the Leeds game. We actually have an attack here. We still have the ball. Delph with another cross. Calvert-Lewin, and he hits the bar. As you can see right there, we have 2 shots, and both of them have come, or a header does still count as a shot. Both of them have come from crosses, so that is exactly what I was talking about. And this time it was Fabian Delph with both of the crosses. Digne, of course, still injured for 3 more days, so he is going to be back for the next game. But right now he isn't just yet. But we're gonna try if we could get a couple of goals without Digne, and Richarlison actually makes it 1-0 to us against Spurs. 28 minutes played, the exact amount of minutes that we had played before we opened the score against Crystal Palace. Eventually they still beat us, so we have to be wary of Spurs. Of course, the game is far from over. We still have the entirety of the second half to play, and we have a very capable Spurs side that we have to face. So, but we are doing very well this match, better than we were last game. But Lo Celso almost equalizes, but he hits the post, and we can't get rid of it. As you can see, if we do win this, as Coleman gets injured, if we do win this, then we move up to 8th place above Arsenal. Alright, so that is what we like to see. We're gonna get Coleman off for Holgate because he has picked up a knock. So I don't want Coleman to get injured too, because then we lose Coleman and Digne. Of course, Digne is almost back from his injury, but I don't want to lose Coleman too. So let's get straight into the second half, and let's hope that we can hold on to this lead, unlike we did against Crystal Palace. If we do, I think it's a very, very good win for us. Spurs' XG are actually higher than ours is, even though they've only had 4 shots, from which 0 on target, which is kind of weird. It shows that they've had a couple of very big chances, but they couldn't get the ball on target. And we're getting closer to the end of the game. Calvert-Lewin with another big chance just over the goal. We're going to get Bolasie on, and we're going to get Doucouré off for Tom Davies for the final 10 minutes. What I've been doing in the cup games and in the games against weaker sides when we are leading, I've put on a couple of youth players because I think it's important for them to get their game time, to get a little bit more development. And there's the final whistle, and we beat Tottenham Hotspur. Remember before the game when I said, I just don't see us winning this. I think it's too early for us to beat one of the big boys. Well, we've done it, and we're into 8th place, just above Arsenal and just below Spurs. So I think we're in a very good position right now. I think Leeds will drop off, and so will Wolves in when we're getting further into the season. So hopefully we can make it to that 7th position in the league, because that is what the board wants. I'll show it to you one more time. They want us to qualify for the Europa League, and of course that is in 7th in the league, or 8th, I believe, depending on the winner of the cup, but I'm not sure how that works. But we'll see about that when we're getting closer towards the end of the season. Hopefully we won't need to look at that. Hopefully we'll be safe and sound in 6th or 7th spot, and we will be happily qualified for the Europa League. So that is going to be it for this episode. Let me check what games we're going to do for the next one. And I think that it is going to be not Arsenal, that's too far away. Let's do Wolves and Sheffield, I think. Or no, let's do Sheffield and Newcastle. I think that's 2 winnable games. Where's our first Liverpool game? Oh, it's right after that. Alright, so I'm not going to do... where is the other Liverpool game? Alright, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Next episode is going to be Sheffield away and Newcastle at home. Sheffield in 16th and Newcastle in 10th. For now, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, and I hope you did, please leave a like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.